Hello learners, Quality Engineering and Management, Week 10, Video 32, Role of Analytical Tools, presented by myself, Dr. N. Venkateshwarlu, Associate Professor, Mechanical Engineering, School of Engineering and Technology, IGNOU, New Delhi. Introduction to Analytical Tools. The philosophy that seeks to improve all factors related to process of converting input into output on an ongoing basis is called continuous improvement. There is an increasing realization that engineering changes after product launch are costly exercise. Consequently, manufacturers have been compelled to adopt methods to detect problems at an early stage of the product design cycle. So the learners in this philosophy, what it says, if you launch without finding the failure modes, then the incorporation of changes in the product will become very high cost. So because of that, one has to adopt some failure detecting methods so that they can identify before the product launch. That is the philosophy of analytical tools, implementation and practicing of analytical tools in improving quality. Objectives. Learners, after listening this video lecture, you should be able to understand about analytical tools, explain role of analytical tools in problem solving and quality improvement. So these are the various objectives. Introduction to analytical tools. Failure mode and effective analysis, concurrent engineering, multiple prototype builds and early supplier involvement are some of the means by which manufacturers try to surface problems early during the product development cycle. Detecting and addressing problems early makes penetration of product in the market a smooth and time-bound activity. Other than addressing problems, improvement orientation is the most important parameter for competitiveness. So the industries has to be competitive. So how they will become competitive? If they introduce the product without checking or without finding the failure modes, then it will be difficult for them. The cost will be more, so one has to detect the problems and address the problems through analyzing and then correcting those problems before design or before introducing the product in the market. Then it will become the companies to be competitive in the market, and they can provide the materials without having any problems, so that the customer will satisfy. The performance level of most enterprises tend to decrease over time unless efforts are made to maintain the level, which implies that barely to maintain the current level of performance, some degree level of maintenance is necessary. For additional improvements, efforts beyond pure maintenance is required. If an organization does not improve, either competition or new entrant will capture and enter the market segment. So that's why the industries needs to be competitive, and by implementing new methods, methods for finding the faults and analytical tools to be introduced, so that the problems can be identified at the early before design or before launch of the product, so that it can be corrected during the design process. As a result, customers today are more demanding. Quality of product offered are being improved rapidly. As a result, expectation of the customers are rising dramatically. There is, however, no single solution to the dramatic customer expectation, but it can be said that continuous improvement combined with innovation will help organizations to stay competitive in the marketplace. So the learners here, the competition is going very high and the customers are expecting more services or more demands from the customers or more features they are asking because of the variety of through internet they can get the information about all the products available in the market. So for example, a customer wants to buy a car, so he can search for the various companies to purchase some particular model. So he needs some specific fields, specific features, so that it may be available in car A or it may not be available in car B, so that he can analyze and his demands are increasing. For that, the companies need to be changed and companies need to be adapted new methods and improve upon the product by analyzing or by implementing analytical tools so that they can be competitive in the market. So that is the advantage of these analytical tools. The past experience have shown that organizations focusing on continuous improvement have been successful in occasional breakthrough in their improvement effort. On the other hand, neglecting continuous improvement is not conducive to create a breakthrough. Different improvement tools are suitable for different improvement activity. So there are various tools are available. So depending upon the requirement, the tools can be implemented or selected. A number of tools are used for analyzing data and problem solving. Among the most useful, cause and effect diagrams offer a structured approach to problem solving. They are also referred to as a fishbone diagrams because of their shape, or Ishikawa diagram after Kaoru Ishikawa, the Japanese professional who developed the approach to help workers overwhelmed in the problem solving by the number of factors that need to be examined. So this is a cause and effect diagram is utilized in the industry, and it was invented by the Kaoru Ishikawa, a scientist. So because of that, this figure looks like a fish skeleton of a fish bones. So that's why it is also called as a fishbone diagram, and also invented by Kaoru Ishikawa. That's why we can also call it as a Ishikawa diagram. The diagrams help organize problem solving efforts by providing several layers of categories that may factors in causing problems. After cause and effect diagrams are used after brainstorming sessions to organize the ideas generated. A cause and effect diagram shows the relationship between a quality characteristics and certain factors. It is a graphic tool which shows the relationship between cause and effect. Suppose a quality problem is there. So the quality problem may be due to various causes. Maybe material, maybe method, maybe men or machining. So like that, various causes will be there for a particular problem, that quality problem. So like that, the fishbone diagram can be explained. The main objective of the analytical tools can be problem identification or improvement. Some tools can contribute to more than one objective, but their category depends on the most prominent activity. Within the overall improvement model, different stages appear as shown in figure 10.1, as can be seen in the figure that the improvement efforts has to be prioritized. So this is a improvement model figure. So here prioritization improvement efforts, then process understanding, then problem analysis, then idea generation, then improvement task generation, then implementation. This is the process of improvement model. This will indicate where to concentrate the improvement effort. This analysis is done through various tools like self-assessment, trend analysis, QFD and spider chart, etc. After identifying the process which is to be improved, the next step is to understand the process in a detailed manner. This can be done through critical incident technique for identifying problems within a process or relationship mapping. It can also be accomplished by 3 of the 7 basic problem solving tools, namely check sheet or tally chart. So in this check sheets are used to assist in collection and classification of data to facilitate rapid information gathering. These are also used to check missing operations or missing dimensions. They are useful to detect and investigate during failure analysis. In manufacturing processes where hazardous and critical operation check sheets are used to before starting the operation. For example, before taking off flight, the pilot checks up all the controls and fills up the checklist. Most of the inspection reports generated in pathological laboratories are in the form of check sheets. This is the one check sheet type of defects occur. So in this figure 1.1, so the check sheets looks like this. So product name will be there, then date, then operation, which operation is the turning operation or drilling operation or boring operation, whatever it may be, that operation one has to mention. Then plant, in which plant it is performed. Then number inspected. So if it is operation is done, how many numbers inspected. Then who is the inspector. Then remarks, if any, if it is okay or not okay. Then lot number. Then the type of defects. Then numbers, how many numbers they have got the defect. Scratches 32 defects, cracks 23 defects. This is the example of a check sheet in a machine shop or in a quality department. So this is another example of a check sheet type of defects occur. So this is it is available in the material so that you can see. Then flow chart. Next one is flow chart. It is a systematic technique for describing the process to which the problem belongs. The main purpose of producing a flow chart is to establish a common understanding of all the stages under review. It also provides an example of how various factors may be interrelated in an assembly process. It provides basis for understanding the standard process procedures, the relationship between the people and the work to be done. When constructed accurately and analyzed properly, a flow chart can help users understand and identify process bottlenecks. This is the advantage of flow chart. Then next one is Pareto analysis. It is an approach to pinpointing problems through the identification and separation of the vital few causes from the trivial many. At any given time, there are many kinds of problems around us. It may not be practical to solve all those problems at the same time. Therefore, arrange the problems in order of importance and solve the bigger problem first. A bar graph that shows the biggest problem on the left followed by the lesser problem is called Pareto chart. The chart is named after Wilfred Pareto, 1848 to 1923, an Italian social scientist. So this is the one example of a data on cause and number of defects. So with this data we can develop a Pareto analysis chart. So here the causes are scratches, number of defects are 32, and then percent of defective is 28. So for cracks it is 23 and the percent defective is 20. And then incomplete, here 48 and the percentage of defective is 42, and wrong shapes 4 and percentage of defective is 3. So others are 8. Various other problems are number of defective is 8 and then percentage of defective is 7. So total sum is 115 and the 100% defectives. So with this chart we are unable to understand. If we draw a Pareto analysis, then we can able to understand better about which problem can be solved first. So with this you can see that A is having 48, so that is it is incomplete of a operation. So that is 48, and then scratches it is 32, then cracks it is 23. So here the number of defects are occurred in a particular means it's due to some particular cause or particular problem. It is a scratch, it is incomplete. So in this, what we will be able to find out is through this Pareto analysis, there are more numbers will be there, but with a particular only one defect will be there, that is incomplete. So if it is incomplete, so we can complete it easily, so that we can first solve this incomplete problem, so that we can complete 48%, means 48 defects at a time. So like that one has to prioritize the problems, so that we can solve those problems according to the importance of the problem. So that is the advantage of a Pareto chart or Pareto analysis. Then Pareto analysis, in Pareto chart, each type of defect is illustrated by the rectangle whose height equals the number of defectives on the left hand scale, and accumulated percentage defective is shown on the right hand side. So on the basis of the Pareto chart, the most serious problem is very clearly made visible. When that problem is solved, we can move on to the next. In this way, each problem is focused on one at a time. This diagram, you can see that here number of defectives in left hand side and cumulative percentage of defective in right side. So first you will solve the problem of A, that is incomplete. So that is the use of a Pareto analysis. So another example, the Pareto diagram, it looks like this. So this is also similar to earlier one. To sustain an ongoing organizational development associated with improvement through teamwork, the improvement teams established needs to be provided with appropriate tools. An inadequate approach with which to tackle the problem will not be able to achieve the desired objectives. To address these problems, two sets of problem solving tools are used, which are the first of these are the 7 basic problem solving tools, also called as the 7 QC tools, which are normally used by quality improvement teams to problem solving in manufacturing process. The second set of techniques are the 7 advanced tools, referred to as the 7 management tools, which are used as advanced quality management and planning techniques. Since problem analysis is an important aspect of improvement work, it uses both these classes of tools. Some of the tools used for problem analysis are as matrix diagram, relation diagram, histogram, scatter diagram, cause and effect diagram, and root cause analysis. These are the various tools which are used in the quality problem solving and quality improvement tools. Matrix diagram. One of the 7 management tools is two-dimensional array similar to a spreadsheet. It graphically represents the relationship between factors. The most commonly used example of a matrix diagram is the house of quality, diagram developed as a part of the QFD. The matrix diagram organizes large amounts of data so that the logical connections between the various elements can be illustrated graphically. It also shows using graphical symbols the importance of the different relationships. Then relations diagram. One of the 7 management tools describe the logical links among the factors grouped together during a brainstorming session by focusing upon a particular generated idea. The relation diagram brings logical structure and relationship to the creative activity. The relationship diagram illustrates the logical connections between an essential idea, a problem, or a question at issue and various data. That is why there are certain similarities between relation diagram and cause and effect diagram. Then histograms. One of the basic problem solving tools are used to display the data collected, and often this form of ordered distribution illustrates fundamental properties of a problem. We produce a large quantity of products with a great number of parts and materials. Each of these products and parts cannot have the same quality but always has some amount of dispersion or variation. A histogram is a graph that shows dispersion of data. From this graph, we can analyze the characteristics of data and the cause of dispersion. Typically, a histogram is a bar graph showing the statistical distribution over equal intervals of some measures of quality, such as defects. Histograms are used in analysis for stratification to create hypotheses for where defects are occurring. Then scatter diagram. Another of the 7 basic problem solving tools is used to establish or dispel a causal link between the two factors. Quite often, after having established some correlations, the solution to the problem becomes easier to identify. The technique helps to establish the relationship between two quantities. If one feels that there may be a possibility of relationship between the two quantities, it is useful to plot a scatter diagram. Then cause and effect diagram. Further, one of the 7 problem solving tools is used as a way of structuring the process of determining the root cause of a problem. To solve a problem, it is important to know the real causes and interrelationship among causes. You can then identify the major causes to identify the problem. A cause and effect diagram is used to find the root cause of a problem. So this is a cause and effect diagram. Long waiting time after completion of ultrasonic scanning in an hospital. So suppose this problem, this cause and effect diagram shows that there is a long waiting time. So what is the reason? What is the cause for that high waiting time? So it may be environment, it may be a method, or it may be a people. So there are various causes. So in that causes, then other causes will be there. In the diagram, it is shown the various causes. Due to that, the waiting time is more. So that to avoid that, these are the various causes. The various causes which can be how to remove those causes through this constructing this cause and effect diagram. We can identify and we can reduce those causes to minimize the waiting time at the particular place, particular operation. Then root cause analysis. It helps in finding the true root cause of a problem. So these are the various analytical tools which can be utilized in the manufacturing processes to reduce the various problems. And before occurring the failure, before occurring the problem. So all these tools can be utilized to reduce the problems before occurring. Conclusions. Learners, I hope you understood the roles of various analytical tools in data analyzing and problem solving. Thank you.